Hey, what's going on, people? It's your man Rosie here, and today we're going to review Wednesday Season 2. So, I've been seeing a lot of mixed things online, just kind of poking around, reading some other reviews, seeing what people think. And yeah, I've had some time to kind of think about it, process everything, and yeah, I'm ready to give you my thoughts. If you like content like this, I'd also really appreciate it if you would smash that subscribe button, leave me a like, maybe a comment, leaving some thoughts of your own. Yeah, if you think something I said was unfair or you have a counterpoint, yeah, please leave it there. On whatever service you're watching me through. If you're on YouTube, those are the features I'm most familiar with. But yeah, if you're on one of the podcast apps, yeah, I'll try to check it out. Yeah, like I said, it's very mixed. And I feel like some of the negativity, Pete, there's some fairness, there's some things people are saying that I don't think are really fair, and I think that a big part of that is people kind of pretends this show is something that it just isn't. They act like Wednesday's some artistic masterpiece with, loaded to the brim with symbolism, endless huge amount of thought into the writing, and it's just not that kind of show. That's not what it is. It's not some artistic masterpiece. It's a silly fantasy show with some mystery elements, some drama elements in there. That's what this is. It's something you tune into, and yeah, you care about the plot. There's a story there, and yeah, you care about it. And, yeah, it's fun to make predictions, like I've been doing. But you don't take it uber seriously like you do, say, a Game of Thrones, that kind of show. In terms of how seriously you take it, it's somewhere between a Stranger Things and an Only Murders in the Building. It's there, and you do care. Some thought went into it. It's not just the plot exists as part of the show. It's not there just to carry it, and yeah, but it is silly. That. It's part of why you're watching. You are looking to have some laughs and feel that, that fantasy charm, that Tim Burton-esque, creepy creatures, people with powers, that kind of vibe. Yeah, and really, since the first season, what I've been thinking about the show as to really what makes it work is, more than anything, really, it scratches an itch. It's a Harry Potter-like experience as a series, as a show, as opposed to movies that you see, once every 2 years. Yeah, it's something we've been needing. Yeah, you take some kids. Well, really, they're in their 20s, but yeah, and the school setting. Schools are great places to tell stories. Yeah, for adults it takes you back. For kids, it's relatable. It just works. Something about it's just, it has this charm. Yeah, a big part of what, particularly the early Harry Potter movies that really worked is that charm, seeing the magic in the setting, the staircases floating around, the candies, the candies that hop around, that extreme richness of, and the magic in that setting. And, it was the right vibe. It had a silliness to it, as opposed to, something more serious, like I said, a Game of Thrones. Maybe you'd throw Rings of Power in there. It gives it that charm, and there's something about that that's just so lovable. Right, so yeah, let's get into some more specifics. Let's go over what my predictions were. Man, I really didn't do good. Did I? Yep. You try. You do it because it's fun. Yeah, predictions are fun, but yeah, a lot of them are going to be wrong in the end. So yeah, I predicted Gwendolyn Christie was going to be back, and yeah, she is back. So I feel like I deserve credit for that prediction, even though I did say I don't think the character's dead. Really. But if you look into what I was actually saying, what I was saying here is, I just can't fathom that you would, on your season 1 budget, that you'd go out and get an actor like Gwendolyn Christie and, and kill her off. It just doesn't seem logical to me from a money standpoint, from any standpoint. And I was right. Yeah, she's not gone. So Yeah, so there's that, and I like her new role as Wednesday's spirit guide. Excuse me. That's yeah, it's fitting, and she played it well. Right, and I think they made the right call making it so Morticia can see her as well. Like it was too limiting with just Wednesday seeing her. Like even though it's like, well, like people can see each other's spirit guides, like whatever. Like it helps the show along. It's just to do it this way, you know. They want a lore friendly explanation. Maybe they're related. Yeah, it's a blood thing. Who cares? Like, yeah, there we go. And everyone, including me, was wrong about Lady Gaga playing Ophelia Frump. And really, her quote unquote role was just a cameo. Like, that is what it was. So I think they really overhyped this for what it was. Like it. Like, the reason why you don't do this is so that exactly like what I'm doing now doesn't happen to you. So that critics, fans don't call you out saying, like, you know, people aren't that dumb. They'll be like, yeah, you're just telling us that Lady Gaga's in this, you know, to build up hype. But yeah, you just using eye candy to keep us interested. But like, you're not delivering what you're trying to convince us that you are. But yeah, and so. And they really hyped up the dead dance that's being called, but Gaga wasn't even in it. Like it's her song, but she's not actually on stage with Enid and Agnes. So so it's just not getting much buzz, especially not nearly as much as the original Wednesday dance from season 1 did. Yeah, so. It's just, yeah, it's falling short of what people expected, and that's why it's just not getting talked about. And I wonder if, like, Gaga's constant appearance in, like, the publicity events was more, like, results of, like, scheduling convenience than, like, you know, than, like, hype or anything else. Like, maybe it was just, like, they happened to both be in New York, you know, the Wednesday crew and her, maybe they were just both in New York at the same time, and it just worked out conveniently that way. But yeah, like it was overhyped. I don't think anyone's gonna disagree that they kind of overhyped this Lady Gaga thing. See, yeah, theory about Dort hiding something in the Nightshade HQ, also wrong. Sorry guys, did a whole separate video just for that. I guess it, even sometimes when things add up perfectly, you kind of you don't get it right. Just is what it is. I was right about Iago Tower being the final showdown location, so that's something. I don't really quite remember what I said about the music teacher, so we're just gonna skip that. All right. So let's talk some specifics about the story and the pacing. So the overall verdict that everyone's talking about is they just kind of tried to do too much, and I agree. There were, you know, loads of subplots in there that, you know, people just didn't find interesting. And it did feel like 2 seasons meshed into one because of how all the important stories changed midway through. Like it's kind of that mess of pacing. Like, you know, like suddenly we're being told different stories. Like it's, yeah, you know, too much to follow, and so little of it ended up being satisfying in the end. Yeah, so, yeah, this needed to be better. Yeah, particularly the main arc with the Galpins and Willow Hill. Like, the mystery build-up in the first half, I liked that. Like, I liked that guessing game. But then, like, because it changed, you know, it does a 180, like, with what it's about in the second half, it just kind of, like, you lost me. Like, I was so interested in the Lois idea, and I really hope they bring that back in future seasons, you know, other Lois experiment kind of stuff. But, like, yeah, like, the zombie, it kind of gets meshed with them, and, you know, after the first episode, you never see, what's her name, Judy again, because, yeah, the zombie kills her off, so it's kind of that dead end. Like, yeah, suddenly the story is just completely different, and, yeah, it's kind of messy. And the Dort storyline was very underwhelming as well. Like, that was just a big old nothing burger right there. Yeah, that finale with the gala, it was like, like it was so anticlimactic, like, you know, such a simple plan, so executed so easily by the Nightshades, and all of a sudden Dort's, you know, in pieces. That's the B story. You'd probably say the Galpins and Lois was the A story. That's probably the B story of the show, and yeah, it was just so anticlimactic, and you know, nothing ever really emerged to make it interesting. It was just like, yeah, like this chess game with him and Bianca up until the end, like no real action behind it, like just, you know, and Dort was he ended up being such a plain old villain. You know, we just wanted the money. Like the idea that I was talking about, you know, in the last episode, for what his plan could be was that he wants to make all normies outcasts. And yeah, I really like that idea. I think that's something they should do in a future season. You know, of course, of a character other than Dort now, because he's gone. But yeah, like a good villain doesn't see themselves as the villain. But Dort, like, he was so plain old, just greedy for no reason. Yeah, was not what I had hoped for. And something that was really emphasized coming off of season 1 is that they were getting Wednesday out of the romantic situations. You know, there was a lot of romance with her in the first season between Xavier and Tyler, and I think a lot of this did come from Jenna Ortega herself. I think that she doesn't like how her character was kind of contingent upon these other characters. And I agree. I definitely respect that. I think she is one of the most talented actors, out there right now, and yeah, she's more than worthy of, you know, leading a show. Yeah, and really there is no Wednesday without her, really. The only other actress I could see playing Wednesday would be Bella Ramsey. I think Ortega's perfect for the role, and she leads the show. There is no show without her at this point. Yeah, so yeah, like, and you know, like it's still under the radar a little. Like there is a little tension between her and Tyler, but they did get her out of it. But the thing is, they kind of replaced it with Enid. You know, there was now this tension between her and Ajax, and now this new guy Bruno, and it was underdone. Like I could tell, you know, as someone that, yeah, I'm a writer myself, I can tell looking at it that a lot of this storyline got cut, and you know, probably because, you know, they had to fit it all into 8 episodes, and there was already way too much, you know, side plot. Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, like especially like toward the end, where suddenly, like the final conversation between her and Ajax, where like she's like, I didn't realize we were back on speaking terms. Well, when were they off it? Like, yeah, like there was more that got cut there. Really, like he handled the whole thing really, really maturely. I thought, you know, just, yeah, when he caught her and Bruno together, it was just like, was it something I did? Like that yeah, like he had a bit of a right to be upset there. Like I guess we were meant to assume maybe they weren't officially together, but I mean, there was kind of an implication, you know, that there was something going on there. I think he was owed, you know, a bigger explanation than my feelings have changed. You know, like she's, you know, been with this other dude. Like, and yeah, like it's, you know, like I hesitate to say like she was cheating on him because we don't really know that they were officially together, but I don't think it'd be ridiculous of him to accuse her of it, you know, and say like, hey, like, were we not on the same page here? Like, what's going on? But yeah, it was just kind of underdone. Yeah, man, Bruno ended up being an ass. Like, damn, like, that was not cool. Like, I can't believe his established girlfriend wasn't more angry about it. Like he is cheating on her, you know, with this Enid girl. Like, yeah, so kind of a mismanaged, jostled romance there, but you know, that's high school for you, isn't it? All right. Well, that's about all I have to say about that. So I want to be clear that there were story elements that I did like, but they just weren't enough. Like, that was largely because they were just trying to do too much. Like, I did really like the Lois experiments and the Addams Family lore, but like, we need more of that and less of the stuff, the anticlimactic stuff that just doesn't end up mattering. Now let's talk casting and performances. So, yeah, of course, Jenna Ortega, excellent as always. Emma Myers, also very, very good. Really, I think Emma maybe, like, she's someone I could see people eyeing as someone that could get her own show. Not a spin-off to Wednesday, but, some new upstart series. She's shown that she's, a very capable actor. I think she could be a star. Yeah, so, and that swap of their roles was fantastic. That may have been the best episode of the season, where suddenly Jenna Ortega is playing Enid and Emma Myers is playing Wednesday. And it was an interesting thing to do with the characters, and they both played each other's characters so well. I love that. Like that dead-eyed, like after the Jenna Ortega dance, where Emma Myers, as Wednesday, is just like, that was great. And Jenna captured the exuberance of Enid so well. Like, seeing that contrast between how she plays Wednesday and how she played Enid, like that, like it did both so excellently. Like, that was, that really is. Something deserving of an award right there. So another casting and performance I really like is I've come to really like Fred Armisen as Uncle Fester, and apparently Netflix and MGM are now planning a spin-off that's going to be him as as Fester, I guess, going on road adventures as he does. That's according to Variety. They kind of embellished, but it's journalism. I get how it is. They embellished this a little bit, but it sounds like this is something that they're starting to put a plan together for. Does it actually end up coming to fruition? Maybe, maybe not. But I think it's a good idea. And let's see, Owen Painter as Isaac. So I kept thinking, like, have I seen this guy in something before? Like, something about him seems familiar. I don't think I have seen him in anything. I looked him up, like, I don't think so. But I really like this actor for some reason. Like, it's sort of a typecasting. He's the handsome deviant sort of. But I really liked him. And he was a great antagonist for this kind of show. Like that. He was like the Da Vinci. Like, I wish we had seen more of him, like, being a Da Vinci, going like whoop, because again, that kind of feeds into the charm of this kind of universe. Seeing that magic in the setting. Like the way he was like conducting an orchestra. He did it to like that music track. It was very from a cinematography standpoint, that was a really well executed sequence there. And Christopher Lloyd, I love Christopher Lloyd. He's great in everything he does. Like, when minor roles, big roles, he delivers. I love the guy. Classic Back to the Future guy right there. Love Mr. Lloyd. Now, going further into cinematography, also really great special effects this season. Like, after season 1, I was looking at it and I kept thinking, that's not really good enough for the kind of show this is. But they stepped it up. They did some really neat things with their increased budget. And the trick here is the vibe. Like, you want it to look good and believable. Like, it does look like there's a monster, some powers being used in front of you, but you don't want it to look like, it needs to give off the right vibe. It needs to maintain that classic, kind of corny Addams Family vibe, while also looking, realistic, like good enough that you could believe it's real. And they did a good job, like, especially the hide designs, like the googly eyes, like, they look kind of goofy. That's true to the original Addams Family. And all the bird effects, with with the avian early on. That was well done. Yeah, and I liked that they embraced the gore a little bit more. That helped me take the show a bit more seriously. With the heavy stakes. People are getting freaking bird murdered. Yeah, so yeah, good use of the budget for special effects there. So let's start to wrap things up. So at the very least, this season kept me watching. I was genuinely interested to see what was coming next. But yeah, neither major storyline ended in a way that was satisfying. They were both very anticlimactic. So some hopes for the next season. Looks like one of the big storylines early on is going to be Wednesday and Fester finding Enid. So that's something to look forward to. It's a chance to get Enid some more exposure, focus on her a bit more. Yeah, I hope that doesn't go on long though, because I feel like they need to be back at the school for most of it. Like the show, like it is a school show, that's part of what makes it interesting. Yeah, so that'll be one of the stories, but yes, it'll be continued, like maybe into something else, like probably into the Capri and Tyler story with apparently the Hyde refuge. Yeah, so I think that's a decent idea. Look forward to that, and I'm hoping they focus more on the Addams family. I feel like the bright spots are when they are focusing on that lore, and it does look like that's a direction they're going in as well, because we saw Ophelia. Apparently Grandmama has been keeping her hidden, so yeah, that'll be exciting. I had teased in my first predictions video, I think, some actors who could play Ophelia, and of course I plugged Lady Gaga as the main guest. That was wrong. Well, oh well. See what else I said. Yeah, Krista Milioti would be good in a role like this. Yeah, she just won big at the Emmys. She won Outstanding Lead Actress in a Limited Series, I think the award is called. And yeah, she deserves it. She's an outstanding actor, or actress, whichever she prefers. And yeah, totally deserves that award. I love The Penguin. That was a great show to watch. Yeah, though, but because she just won that award, it's probably kind of big for a role like Ophelia now. But yeah, like if there's a way they could find a role for her in Wednesday, I think she'd be excellent in a show like that. See there, I remember plugging Lisa Kudrow as well, someone that could be Ophelia. I think that'd be a good casting. Yeah, they've gone the comedic route for a lot of the characters. I think Kudrow would really work in something like this. Yeah, and she looks the part, right? About the right age. Yeah, I think that'd be a good casting. So, did I plug anyone else? I don't remember. Yeah, let's stick with those two guesses for now. And in regard to Wednesday in romantic situations again, I think it would be a mistake to put a complete stop to it. Like, I could see going some seasons where it's not prominent, but I think it's a mistake to put a complete end to it because Jenna Ortega is an extremely attractive woman. Like, she is. And I don't want to say anything that would potentially make Miss Ortega or anyone at the show uncomfortable, but there is a large portion of that audience, that is, like in season 1, that is kind of imagining themselves as Tyler or Xavier, because they have an attraction to Miss Ortega. So I think the show benefits from that element being there, because there is a large portion of the audience that is imprinting themselves on that romance, and thinking of themselves as Wednesday or Miss Ortega's love interest, kind of thinking to themselves, "Si mamacita." All right, to avoid risking further embarrassment, I'm just gonna conclude with my thoughts on the subject there. So my rating out of 10 for season 2, I'm gonna go with 6.5. It kept me watching, kept me interested, but I was kind of disappointed. Yeah, it is how it is. So yeah, I'm hoping it turns back around in the next season, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to put into the podcast. Recently I've been kind of busy. Yeah, I'm looking for work. I'm hoping to join film production at some point. That's what I'm trying to go into. And yeah, I guess I hope to predict the culprit of the current season of Only Murders in the Building at some point. I think that'd be a good episode. I love that show. I love it so much. Yeah, I've already been. Yeah, I just watched the second episode. I've already gotten some things wrong. So, oops. Yeah. Yeah, at some point, I hope to do a video predicting who the murderer is. But yeah, I guess that'll probably be next. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys then. Yeah, if you enjoyed this review, please hit that sub button, smash the like button on whatever platform you're on. Those are both YouTube features, not so. Yeah, so if you're on like one of the podcast apps, do whatever the equivalent of that is there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.